We witness a landmark moment in the world of technology and finance. NVIDIA, the pioneering company in artificial intelligence computing, has reached a staggering market capitalization of $4 trillion. This milestone isn't just a new record for chipmakers. It's a statement that NVIDIA is now more valuable than the combined stock markets of entire countries, including the United Kingdom, France, and Germany. Why does NVIDIA's rise matter? To understand this, we need to look beyond the numbers and into the company's strategic transformation. Founded in 1993 as a graphics chip manufacturer, NVIDIA initially focused on powering video games and rendering complex 3D graphics. Over the years, it evolved, capitalizing on its expertise in graphics processing units, or GPUs, which are now the workhorses behind AI computation, deep learning, and data center acceleration. The explosive growth in AI, from natural language processing models to autonomous vehicles, has created an insatiable demand for high-performance computing. NVIDIA's GPUs excel at parallel processing, enabling rapid training and inference of large machine learning models. This technological edge has made NVIDIA's hardware the preferred choice for tech giants, startups, research institutions, and cloud providers alike. From gaming chips to AI backbone, NVIDIA's transition from a gaming-centric business to an AI powerhouse didn't happen overnight. It involved visionary leadership, aggressive R&D investments, and strategic acquisitions. The company's CUDA programming platform, launched in 2006, was a game-changer. It allowed developers to harness GPU power for general-purpose computing, vastly expanding the scope of applications beyond graphics. As AI research advanced, NVIDIA's GPUs became the default hardware to train massive models like OpenAI's GPT series and Google's BERT. Its data center segment exploded, accounting for a significant portion of revenue. NVIDIA's chips power the servers behind many of the world's most sophisticated AI systems, from natural language chatbots to image recognition engines. The broader market impact NVIDIA's $4 trillion valuation highlights a broader shift in global markets, the rise of AI as a dominant force shaping economies and industries. Its market cap surpasses those of entire countries' stock exchanges, underscoring how a single company's technology can transform multiple sectors, from healthcare and automotive to finance and entertainment. This milestone also reflects investor confidence in NVIDIA's future. Despite macroeconomic uncertainties and geopolitical tensions, the market believes NVIDIA will continue leading AI innovation and capitalizing on expanding AI applications worldwide. Challenges ahead. Yet with great power comes great responsibility and risks. NVIDIA faces competition from rivals like AMD and Intel, each pushing to develop alternative AI hardware solutions. Additionally, the semiconductor industry faces supply chain challenges and rising geopolitical scrutiny, particularly with US-China technology tensions. Moreover, AI's rapid advancement raises ethical questions, regulatory scrutiny, and calls for transparency, areas where NVIDIA will need to lead not only technically, but also responsibly. What's next? Looking forward, NVIDIA is well positioned to maintain its leadership in AI computing. The company is investing heavily in next-generation GPU architectures, AI software frameworks, and expanding partnerships across industries. With AI adoption accelerating globally, NVIDIA's technology will be fundamental to enabling the next wave of innovation, from generative AI and robotics to advanced scientific simulations. NVIDIA has officially entered uncharted territory. With today's closing price at $163.90 per share, a 2.5% jump on the day, NVIDIA's market capitalization has surpassed $4 trillion. That's not just a number on a screen, it's a tectonic shift in the global financial landscape. To put it into context, this valuation eclipses the total stock market capitalization of the United Kingdom, France, and Germany combined. This is the first time a chipmaker has achieved such status, marking a dramatic turning point in the balance of power between hardware, software, and finance. NVIDIA is now not only the most valuable semiconductor company in history, but one of the top 3 corporations on Earth by market cap, standing shoulder to shoulder with Apple and Microsoft. But this isn't merely a financial or corporate milestone. It's a symbolic victory for AI as the defining force of this era. Just as oil companies once symbolized economic power in the 20th century, NVIDIA now embodies the future of value creation in the 21st. As the demand for compute skyrockets to train language models, run simulations, and power everything from autonomous vehicles to AI-based healthcare diagnostics, NVIDIA is the bottleneck, the enabler, and the supplier. CEO Jensen Huang has often stated, "Accelerated computing is the path forward," and the markets now agree with him. Over the last 2 years, AI has gone from a promising niche to a foundational layer of the digital economy, and NVIDIA's dominance in GPUs has allowed it to ride that wave better than anyone. Whether you're a data scientist, a hedge fund manager, or a policymaker, one thing is clear: the world runs on computation, and computation increasingly runs on NVIDIA. This moment is not just about valuation, it's about validation. A validation of vision, of strategy, and of NVIDIA's pivotal role in shaping the infrastructure of tomorrow's world. What has fueled this historic rise? The answer lies in what we now call the AI supercycle. Since April 2025, NVIDIA's stock has climbed an astonishing 89%. This isn't a coincidence or the result of market speculation. It's grounded in a tidal wave of demand for AI infrastructure. The age of generative AI is here, and it has ushered in a paradigm shift across industries. Every time you ask ChatGPT a question, every time a company trains a new language model or launches a new AI-driven application, there's a very good chance it's running on NVIDIA hardware. The H100 and B100 GPUs have become the digital oxygen of the AI world. Hyperscalers like Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, and Microsoft Azure are pouring billions into expanding their NVIDIA-backed infrastructure. Startups and sovereign governments alike are racing to buy compute capacity to train large models, support AI search, or run LLMs at scale. NVIDIA has transformed from a hardware company into a critical layer of the AI stack. It is now as central to AI development as operating systems were to the PC boom, or cloud providers to the SaaS revolution. That transformation is reflected in the numbers. This year alone, NVIDIA is expected to post over $100 billion in revenue, the vast majority of it from data center and AI-related compute. This is not just a short-term rally. This is a re-rating of the company's strategic value in the era of intelligence at scale. From silicon to superintelligence, NVIDIA has made itself the most important tech company in the AI ecosystem. And the supercycle? It's still in its early innings. Let's talk geopolitics. With a market cap of over $4 trillion, NVIDIA is now more valuable than the top 100 publicly traded companies in the UK, combined. It has surpassed the GDP of many countries. But its value isn't just economic, it's strategic. We're entering an era where compute is currency. Countries aren't just racing for access to oil or rare earth minerals anymore, they're scrambling to secure GPUs. The H100 chip has become a national security asset, hoarded by sovereign funds and rationed by hyperscale cloud providers. NVIDIA has emerged as the crown jewel of the AI supply chain. And with that, its CEO Jensen Huang is no longer just a business leader. He's become a geopolitical figure, courted by presidents, consulted by central banks, and seen as a global gatekeeper to the future of intelligence. As nations strive to build their own sovereign AI capabilities, they all run into the same problem. They need NVIDIA's hardware. China, for example, has resorted to hoarding legacy chips in anticipation of export restrictions. Meanwhile, the US government has formed partnerships to prioritize domestic access to NVIDIA hardware. Huang himself recently described compute as the new currency of power. If that's true, then NVIDIA is the new mint. In the 20th century, nations fought over oil. In the 21st, they will compete for compute. And right now, the gatekeeper to that future is a company headquartered in Santa Clara, California. What we're witnessing isn't just the rise of a company, it's the redefinition of national competitiveness through the lens of computational capacity. NVIDIA has become, quite literally, bigger than nations. Slides 4 and 5 continue with similar speaker notes and length. Let me know when you're ready to complete them. While NVIDIA currently dominates the AI infrastructure space, it's important to remember, no empire is uncontested. Every supercycle attracts competitors, and the AI compute gold rush is no different. A $1 trillion opportunity doesn't go unnoticed, and a $4 trillion incumbent becomes a magnet for challengers. Let's break down the key factions racing to unseat NVIDIA, or at least carve out a significant piece of the pie. First up, AMD and Intel. For years, NVIDIA outpaced them by focusing on GPUs while they stuck largely to CPUs. But that's changing. AMD's MI300X chips are already drawing attention for their high memory bandwidth and large on-chip memory, key features for generative AI inference. AMD is signing major customers like Microsoft Azure and Meta, who are eager to diversify away from NVIDIA's supply constraints and pricing power. Intel, on the other hand, is betting big on Gaudi 3, its AI accelerator architecture. While it hasn't matched the performance of NVIDIA's H100 chips yet, Intel is offering attractive cost-performance ratios, which appeals to cloud providers with razor-thin margins and open-source AI developers who need alternatives. Then we have the cloud giants, AWS, Google, and Microsoft. These companies are no longer just NVIDIA customers, they're also competitors. Amazon Web Services is scaling out Trainium and Inferentia, its homegrown AI chips. Trainium is purpose-built for large-scale model training, and AWS offers it at a lower cost than comparable A100 clusters. Google's TPU V5e and V6 have made major strides, especially for in-house workloads like Gemini and DeepMind's models. TPU clusters are now offered to enterprise customers through Google Cloud's Vertex AI. The message is clear. These hyperscalers want control over their AI destiny and are willing to invest billions to get it. Why rent NVIDIA when you can build your own? Now, let's talk about the dark horses, open source and startups. Open hardware initiatives, like RISC-V-based AI accelerators, are gaining traction. Startups like Tenstorrent, Grok, Cerebras, and Etched are promising faster, cheaper, more efficient compute with radically new architectures. Grok, for example, is building an LPU, a language processing unit, that processes entire transformer models in a single pass, aiming to leapfrog the traditional GPU model. Even sovereign governments are getting into the game. China is pushing for domestic alternatives to NVIDIA after export bans. The EU is funding sovereign compute projects, and in India, the Ministry of Electronics is planning national accelerator platforms. And don't underestimate the open-source AI boom. Teams building models like Mistral, Llama, and Falcon are now optimizing for non-NVIDIA chips. When open-source LLMs run well on CPUs or alternate silicon, the barrier to entry falls, and NVIDIA's moat begins to narrow. However, NVIDIA still has a formidable lead. Ecosystem maturity, CUDA lock-in, developer tools, software stacks like TensorRT and CUDNN, and, crucially, trust. But the pressure is mounting. This is no longer just a competition for better chips. It's a race to own the future's most scarce resource, compute. Will NVIDIA remain the king of AI hardware, or will one of these players break the monopoly? That's the billion-dollar, or in this case, trillion-dollar, question. As we close this presentation, let's step back and ask, what's next for NVIDIA? And what does its future tell us about the next phase of the AI economy? We are in the midst of an AI supercycle, and NVIDIA is the shovel maker in this gold rush. But unlike past cycles, social media, smartphones, or even cloud, this one cuts deeper. This one is about the future of intelligence itself. NVIDIA is no longer just a chip company. It is the infrastructure layer for AGI, artificial general intelligence. Every major lab, from OpenAI to Google DeepMind, relies on NVIDIA silicon to train frontier models. GPT-5, Gemini 2, Claude 4, they all run on NVIDIA GPUs. And it's not just text. NVIDIA is enabling multimodal models, systems that understand text, vision, audio, and even robotics. Let's consider robotics. With Project GR00T, NVIDIA is building foundation models for humanoid robots. Think of it as the GPT of physical action. Tesla's Optimus, Figure AI's robots, and Boston Dynamics. They all need simulation, training, and inference at scale. Who provides that? NVIDIA. Now add sovereign AI to the picture. Countries are waking up to the idea that whoever controls compute controls their digital future. We're seeing the emergence of national AI clouds. The US, China, India, Saudi Arabia, all are placing bulk orders for H100 and Blackwell chips to fuel their AI infrastructure. Yet, even as demand explodes, supply remains constrained. Even with TSMC running at full tilt, Blackwell GPUs won't fully meet global demand until 2026. That creates pricing power and scarcity, both of which are great for NVIDIA's bottom line. So, is $5 trillion far-fetched? Let's do the math. NVIDIA is projected to cross $100 billion in revenue this year, with gross margins above 70%. If it maintains current valuation multiples, or even compresses slightly, a $5 trillion market cap by 2026 is entirely plausible. But perhaps most importantly, NVIDIA is redefining what it means to be a tech platform. It's not just enabling apps, it's enabling entire civilizations to function. AI governance, smart cities, automated science, climate modeling, defense systems. These are no longer science fiction. They are computationally real, and they are powered by NVIDIA. So what's next? More than just a higher stock price. We're watching the birth of the next digital empire. An empire built not on content or clicks, but on raw, intelligent compute. $4 trillion was a milestone. $5 trillion may be a checkpoint. But the real finish line? It's wherever the future of intelligence leads. And NVIDIA is building the road to get us there.